Oh, I was like, please. Welcome into the MCT podcast. It is that time of the week, Friday night, Saturday night, whatever day of the week it is you're seeing us. We're happy to see you. I hope you're happy to see us. Guys, I want to take a second. This is kind of cool. This isn't our 10th episode, but we have done 10 episodes already. This is number 11, I believe, if my count is right. But hey, quick little milestone for us. The plaque will be up on that wall next week. So keep a lookout for that.
Our YouTube platinum.
No, yeah, there you go. The Colts banners. We did 10 podcasts. So AFC finalist did 10 podcasts. Same thing.
Exactly.
Same number of trophies. Hey.
Oh. Bro.
Get out of here. You're
love you, Colts.
Fired.
Love you, Colts. Love you, Colts. Love you, Colts. Hey, they're gonna be good next year,
podcast
this season. But
hopefully,
y'all ain't nothing without that middle filling. That C. You're an Oreo cookie with just a cookie. Ain't nobody want that.
A lot of people do. That's why they take the filling out.
No, they eat the filling on its own because it's the best part of the cookie. We're not having this debate. I'm right,
People
but we're not
scrape
having
off
this
the
debate.
filling with a knife. They do that.
To eat it by itself,
No,
not to just throw it away.
I want this marshmallow crap.
Oh my god!
And then you have Oreo cereal where it's just like the marshmallows
Delicious.
on the side. We got the
you get the cream still on each
cereal.
piece.
The main cereal.
Yeah, but if you nope, that's bait. I'm not taking that. That's bait. I'm not taking that. All right. So picks of the week, guys. I feel like it's been more than a week since we've done one of these. So remind me what you guys' picks from last week were. So somebody start us off.
Oh, there you go. Back.
I'll go. I decided to pick a game where the teams' names didn't make sense. The Washington Wizards, who play in DC, District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. Yeah. So why aren't they the D.C. Wizards? That'd be a better name than Washington. At least give the Bullets back the Washington name and give the Wizards the D.C. name. And then the Toronto Raptors of Tallahassee, Florida were the other team. And, Russell Westbrook decided last week he was just going to go off on every team he faced.
Dude.
Just because he's the leader. He's the coach of that team, really. Scott Brooks is a horrible coach. Russell Westbrook is the coach of that team. So
yeah,
he's taking charge. He's telling Bradley Beal, you can shoot it all you want. I'm going to do everything else. And it works out great for everybody. He's Oscar Robinson out there. He's going to break his triple-double record. He's averaging a triple-double this year. He's MVP caliber. He's the same Russell Westbrook we love. So they won. So the Wizards won. I won my pick. I'm 3-4-1 now because of that tie. So
there you go.
Good.
I mean, yeah. So it's funny. I don't mean to say this in a way that I think Russell Westbrook is happy Bradley Beal got hurt, because I don't. But this is a great scenario for a guy like Russell Westbrook, who is the alpha of alphas, and he excels the most when he doesn't have to share the stage with a fellow superstar. We saw it. Saw the issues in Houston, and even at the end of his OKC career. And this is when he's best, is when he's got 4, I'd say, like B-level guys, and he just gets to run the show however he sees fit. I mean, he has one of the best, I'm not going to lie, he probably has one of the best basketball minds out there, Russell Westbrook does. I mean, he sees the game at a different speed. He plays the game at a different gear, and he has the talent to back it up. So, yeah, he's a lot of fun. The Wizards are a lot of fun to watch right now. Believe it or not, I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth. So, yeah, great pick, Tade. Michael, who did you have last week, bud?
So I took the Dodgers versus the Oakland A's. And I remember specifically saying that this was going to be a really entertaining pitching matchup between the real Cy Young winning Trevor Bauer and the young talent in Jesus Luzardo coming into his full second year. Fuck you. Sorry, Craig. But so I said this is going to be super fun to watch. It wasn't really great for Jesus Luzardo. Yeah, he went 5 1/10, and he struck out 6 batters, which is good. But when you allow 2 runs and you walk 4 batters, not really going to lead to a long night. And then you had Trevor Bauer, who had, oh my goodness, he had 10 strikeouts on 6th and 10th, walked 1, and only allowed 3 hits and 2 earned runs, and pitched with such filth that the MLB had to take his balls in for testing because they thought he was cheating, which was going to lead to one of two things. One, be hilariously hypocritical because of how much crap he gave the Astros the entirety of last year, including wearing trash can custom cleats, which was just legendary. Or it's just going to prove how much of a dominant pitcher Trevor Bauer actually is and maybe finally get Chris off my rear. But
it'll take 162 games at least to do that, but we'll see.
Unfortunately for my picks, I had him winning like 4-3. It was 4-3 for the Oakland A's because the Dodgers gave up the last 2 runs in 2 straight innings because of their bullpen. Kenley Jansen is not a legitimate closer anymore. But yeah, that was the eventful game. But it was just so much fun to watch Trevor Bauer. He was fired up. He's energetic, and that's what makes baseball so much fun.
Yep, and it's just great to have baseball back. Honestly, it's just it was a long off season. It was a weird off season. It's been a weird past year and everything. So it's just been nice to get back to some level of normalcy in the baseball world. At least it feels good. Feels really good to have that back. And we'll talk, Michael. We're going to talk a lot more about that. Todd might want to grab a book and chill because we got a whole week to
just go take a
now.
nap.
But yeah, but my pick, I went with a different route. I actually took my alma mater. My Carmel Greyhounds were in the boys basketball state finals, played at Bankers Life Fieldhouse down in Indianapolis. They played last Saturday, basically, the day before the Final Four and subsequently the championship game of the NCAA tournament, which was across the street at Lucas Oil. So really cool to have both of those events taking place in the same weekend. So I picked the Greyhounds to win over Lawrence North 50-46, and it ended up, you know what? I called it. I'm gonna just say it. I called it damn near perfect, y'all. You put some respect on my mother bleeping name, all right? Like it was 51-46. 51-46. I was off by a single point, and I still got the winner right in OT. So Carmel wins by 5 in overtime. That is their 5th overall boys state basketball title and their 2nd in the last 3 years. They won it back in 2019. They won. The cool thing that I saw when I was doing a little research on this, they actually won back-to-back overtime games to capture that title. They took overtime to win over Gary West in the semi-state level 53-50. And then obviously they won the state title 51-46 in overtime. And the regional game before semi-state was a 1-point win in regulation. So they got it done in clutch, crunch time. They hit key free throws really for those 3 games is what it was when those games went down. So just congrats to them. The stones on those, I mean, you're talking about 16, 17-year-old kids hitting free throws to win state titles. And, I can't imagine having the stones to do that, at that age, let alone today. So shout out to the Greyhounds in all sincerity. Congrats on your 4A title. Congrats to the other 3 winners too. It was a great day of boys high school basketball. Class 1A, 2A, and 3A was all there. I'm not going to go over all of it, but congrats to all 8 teams that made it to that level. It was a super fun tournament, super fun finals to watch. So a lot of fun. But as I kind of hinted to, so leading us into our next segment, as I kind of hinted to with that state title run, March Madness, we're into April. March Madness is officially over. Take a moment to collect your thoughts. Go piece together your broken brackets. They're shattered on the ground.
To bring that up, man.
Oh no, man. But you know what? We had a hell of a tournament, and we had a hell of a national title game, even though it wasn't close. It was still an incredible ball game to watch. So Baylor and Gonzaga met in the national title game because, of course, after a COVID year, those are the 2 teams that make it to the finals, to the national, to the natty, if you will. So pretty cool. But Baylor, oh my God. I mean, I am not sure I've seen a more dominant looking college basketball team in recent memory. I can't think of one off the top of my head that looked that good. I mean, they made Gonzaga look bad, really bad. And guys, Gonzaga is not bad. I don't care what any clown on Twitter says. Gonzaga is a really, 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 really good team this year. They were undefeated for a reason. They made it to the national title game for a reason. Put some respect on them as well. They did not fall short this year. I know I dogged them and that they fall short year after year. This was not that year. And give them their respect. They just ran into a buzzsaw in the name of the Baylor Bears. Jared Butler led the way for those Bears, scoring 22 to go along with 7 assists. Jalen Suggs for Gonzaga did everything he could. He had 22 points. I mean, it was a fun game. It ended up being an 86-70 relative blowout for Baylor, and they led wire to wire. They were just that good. Their defensive pressure was astounding. I mean, they suffocated Gonzaga once they hit that half-court line. And yeah, so my final thoughts on the game, basically in this time next year, just bookmark this and don't listen to me when I tell you that, hey, these two teams, Baylor, I literally called out Baylor and Gonzaga and said they always fall flat. Don't pick them. I know they're 1 seeds. They're not going to go anywhere. Yeah. But they're not going as far as you think they're going to go. And sure enough, because it's March Madness, this is the year they ended up in the title game. And Baylor gets its first national championship. So congrats to them. Congrats to Gonzaga on a hell of a year. Congrats to Indiana for hosting this tournament from start to finish and just doing a phenomenal job across the state. I mean, just a fantastic effort from everybody that took part in getting that done and making that happen. Just an unreal experience. And I can't imagine the level of work and planning and effort that went into making this possible and making it look as easy and perfect as it did with all these restrictions and everything that they had to go around and keeping everybody safe. So it did a hell of a job. So that'll about wrap up my March Madness thoughts. So go right ahead, guys.
So I said that Zaga's biggest issue is they haven't really found a wall they had to run through yet. UCLA in that Final Four game did everything they could, and that was probably one of the most entertaining games I have ever watched. I still remember. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Are you kidding me? Sorry, my girlfriend's brake light just went out, and I just fixed it last week.
Nice.
So I just got a text message on that. But that game got out of the wire. I just remember I was babysitting a friend of mine's daughter, and it was me, my daughter, her. We were watching that game. I just remember seeing UCLA tie up the game, and we were all celebrating, and then all I hear is Zaga. Got it! Zaga wins! I just had to stop and look and go, are you kidding me? Like, yep. I was celebrating overtime over here. Are you kidding me? Like, this is happening right now? Going over and flexing to a cardboard crowd? Like, that was an insane game. But I didn't feel like that was enough of a wall, and I was really worried that Baylor was going to be the team that threw up the wall. And there they were. They didn't let the man with the handlebar mustache, Timmy, do as much damage as I think Zaga really needed him to do. And they threw off enough of their guys off the rivet early enough to where they couldn't really recover. And they tried. There were times that game was starting to get close, but you could just tell that Zaga really wasn't in it, but it was still a ton of fun to watch. You saw the grit that both of these teams had in that game. And even though they were down 16, Zaga was playing like they were only down 2. Like, they were firing at all cylinders, aggressive, and being the team that they have been all year, especially in the second half. But next year is going to be a lot of fun. I know a lot of these guys are going to lose to the NBA or graduation or whatever, but it's going to be a ton of fun next year. I'm so happy it was back.
That's what I thought about the finals.
Oh my gosh.
The best game in the tournament was in the Final Four with Gonzaga versus UCLA. Right. Fantastic game. You guys talked about last week how your favorite moment in the tournament, Gordon Hayward going up for that shot, missing it at the buzzer. Gonzaga did the exact same, obviously not past half court. It was past half court, not before half court, but, it's further distance than when Villanova won. That's for sure.
Yep.
So a Hail Mary, shot, call it Dollar Dame, over Paul George, same distance there.
You're probably not wrong, actually. That's probably the closest distance-wise. That's a good one. Yeah,
but that game, stellar. I hate finals that are just like, okay, you know which team's going to win. Why am I watching the rest of the game? It's not a competition.
Yeah.
We know Baylor was going to win. After, the first half, we were like,
okay.
Man.
It's like we definitely didn't know that going into it, but
No,
yeah,
but
I see what you're saying.
It's unfortunate the game wasn't as close as it was with like UCLA versus Gonzaga. I mean,
Right.
stellar game, stellar tournament. An upset, obviously. Sad ending for the season for Gonzaga. Deserving of a tournament of upsets, we'll say.
Yeah.
But in the end, good overall tournament. Good by Indiana. And then the women's also had a better final than the men's. I have to say there too. That was a close game.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. They won both of their games by 1 point, right? Stanford did to win the national title.
Yeah, good for them.
Hey, I mean, shout out Arizona too. I mean, that's a hell of a program. They took down UConn by 10 in the Final Four to get to that matchup with Stanford, and then only lost by a point to Stanford. I mean, talk about putting yourself on the map. They were a 3 seed, so obviously a high seed, but I'd imagine a relatively overlooked team when you talk about national title chances.
Oh, definitely.
And I mean, they gave it their all and then some. So yeah, shout out to Stanford, shout out for the women's tournament as well, getting back to it's just nice to get these sporting events back slowly but safely, hopefully. That, it's just really nice. And I do want to give a shout out to our winner of our 3C media bracket challenge. It was not any of the people that you see on your screen. It was also not any member of the Crash Course podcast. It was actually my cousin, Ashley Simmons, out in Arizona. I feel I'm a bad cousin. I don't know exactly how old she is, but she's like she's in college, and so it just goes to show you the randomness of the tournament is fantastic. That it was funny. My uncle had messaged me, and he was like, she filled it out all on her own. She's so happy. She had so much fun following along with it. And I was like, that's great. That's what it's all about. So shout out to her. Got beat by a kid, and I love it. I am here for it. It's just exactly what I said, that, the experts aren't the experts, and even the fake experts aren't even the fake experts. And, the more we know about it, the less chance we actually have, I think, because we tend to overthink things where, she did a hell of a job. And my favorite part about our bracket guys is that nobody had the right national champion.
Nope.
So I love it. I absolutely love it. It's just chaos for chaos' sake and madness for madness' sake. So shout out Ashley Simmons. We will be in contact with you. You do win a $10 Taco Bell gift card and bragging rights for a whole year. But don't worry, we are coming for that title next year. So be prepared. Better start studying now.
Oral Roberts, baby.
Oral
Colgate
Roberts
is coming back.
I'm ready for the Colgate comeback. They got screwed, but
they did. And West Virginia. Don't forget West Virginia, guys. Come on.
Yes, absolutely, West Virginia. Pat. Shout out Pat. But Michael. We've got a week. We've got a week in the books now of baseball to talk about. An entire week, a good 7-day period. We've seen, the funny thing is, we feel like we're into the season now, right? Like you feel like you're in that routine, daily games, stuff's going on. And we still have a whole season, essentially. Like we still have 150 plus games to sort this stuff out. But it feels good to get that first weekend. And you know what? I'm going to throw you a bone. And the first thing we're going to talk about, the very first thing we're going to talk about when we talk about baseball right now is you got to talk about your Cincinnati Reds, man. I'm going to throw this one to you. You just go right ahead, man. You got to talk about your Cincinnati Reds and what they are doing to the baseball world right now.
I told y'all to watch out for Cincinnati. I said if that offense gets rolling, they're going to be unstoppable. Now, part of that is due to some other circumstances that another team may or may not have caused themselves, but we're not going to get into that. Well, actually, we will. We will a little bit later. It's definitely on the outline. But the Reds have the most runs scored in baseball, not even close. Yep. 58 to 44 is the next highest. They have the highest run differential between runs allowed and runs scored in baseball. And there was one point where they scored 25 runs in less than 24 hours. Like this team, and I don't know why, I don't know how, and I ain't going to complain.
Yeah.
Because not only do I know this run is not going to last, because it usually never does, but it's been really entertaining to watch. Nick Castellanos has been demolishing the cover off of baseballs, and he probably could off of football too. But I still think the best part, probably my favorite moment out of all the games so far, is got to be two things. One, the soft Cardinals and the soft Yadier Molina going up and trying to pick up Nick Castellanos as if he was a cat in the scruff of his neck.
Yep.
Only to have him walk away like nothing ever happened. He's so cool. I mean, he turned around and started chirping right back after a little bit. But why did the MLB try to suspend him? That's the only thing I'm still confused about. The man was just excited. Yeah. You can't take the excitement out of the game. He made a heck of a play. Yep. Then, to follow that up, we're going to talk about the crowning of the Indy 500, also now known as the Red Sparrow. So, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Jonathan India, the Reds rookie second baseman, every time he comes out to Pirates of the Caribbean music.
Oh, that's dope.
He looks like Jack Sparrow. Like, legit looks like, well, not really even Jack Sparrow. He looks like Orlando Bloom's character later on in the movies with a long black hair, a scruffy beard. Like, he looks a lot like Orlando Bloom. And Barry Larkin was talking to a couple of other announcers whose names I don't remember who was up there. They have a new guy in the booth almost every day. And they were talking about how he came out to that music. And all of a sudden you hear one of the guys chirp up and go, he's the Red Sparrow. He's not Jack Sparrow. He's the Red Sparrow.
Oh,
and
nice.
And Barry is like, okay, I like it. Tell you what, he gets a hit right here. He is the Red Sparrow. Slings a shot in between the first and second baseman for a base hit. And I was like, all right, that's it. And Barry Larkin stops and goes, wait a minute, have you even seen the movies? He's like, no, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I just thought it sounded cool, and that's what we went with. He is now the Red Sparrow. I have no idea what any of this stuff is. All thing I know is Johnny Depp. That's it.
That's amazing.
That's hilarious.
That's amazing.
Listening to that whole interaction was just gold. That's why I love baseball. Just we find all the weird stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah, you do find all the weird stuff. I mean, there's just so much dead time between pitches and between plays that, you really need a good, it really has it puts a shine on your broadcasting team, good or bad. You find out who, which part, and you've got your partners. You have obviously your play-by-play and your color guy. They have to have such good chemistry, because if they don't, the broadcast suffers majorly, and a lot more in baseball than in any other sport. Football, there's enough going on even in between plays that happen real quick. Basketball, there's obviously no downtime outside of timeouts and stuff like that. So yeah, baseball, that broadcast is so critical on that partnership between your play-by-play and your radio guy. Or your color guy, that rather. But yeah, man, your Reds, I got to tip my cap to them, obviously, because I mean, one, like you said, unfortunately, just in part because the baseball season is so long, they can't keep this pace. The run's going to end. The averages are going to come back down. So enjoy it while you can, because it has been an absolute show. Even as a fan of an in-division rival, the Cubs, like I tip my cap to them. And honestly, I'm glad we haven't faced you guys yet, because that's not going to be fun right now. The Cubs pitching has looked good. The offense, not so much. We'll get into that in a second, but yeah, the Reds, man, a lot of fun to watch. Nick Castellanos, obviously, former Cub for half a season, should have stayed there if the Ricketts would open their checkbook and their pocketbook. But super happy to see. I know,
and I know that I'm not a baseball fan.
Toddy doesn't know baseball, but he knows the goddamn Ricketts aren't going to spend money. So
no one in Chicago spends money. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true. But shout out that whole team. It's been a lot of fun. But yeah, Nick Castellanos absolutely tearing the cover off the ball. He's leading the majors in all kinds of offensive categories right now, a weekend, and having a lot of fun doing it too. And Amir Garrett coming out and saying, I'm not afraid of, I want people to be afraid of us. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to put that label on. I don't remember exactly what his quote was, but it was awesome. He was like, we're the rootin' tootin'est, baddest mother bleepers.
Oh
And I
my
don't care
goodness.
who knows it. And he was like, I want you to know, like, we're gonna come out and we're bat flipping and we're doing all this, and you can't do nothing to stop us. And you know what? I'm here for it. Baseball needs that NBA level excitement kind of shot in the arm to it.
Also, shout out.
I won't get it, but
shout out to the Reds social media team too, because when Klein was said, they ran with it. They were like, oh yeah, this is going to be the bio. We're putting this in everything. Yep. The Louisville Bats changed their bio to that. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what? You talked about the Castellanos and Yadier Molina moment and everything, and it just for me, it really just highlighted the not necessarily hypocrisy of MLB, but the double standard, the ridiculousness of it. That like the just banging my head against the wall and like, look, you're trying to find a way. Like the MLB is trying to find a way to appeal to the younger generation, to these younger kids, to bring new fans in and get some excitement into the game. You have superstars across the game that are trying to bring all kinds of excitement to the game, that are, they're bat flipping and showboating and K strutting and pimping stuff. And the funny thing is, social media wise, they're all hyping it up and, showing you every bat flip that happens and everything like that. But then the MLB suspends guys for showing emotion in the face of another one. And I mean, like, my favorite response to the Castellanos thing on Twitter was somebody was like, Castellanos just got suspended 2 games for what happens in the NBA every night. Like, let that come into your head. And exactly, there you go. And like, once you put it in that kind of context, really, when you really break it down, I don't care what team you're a fan of or how you felt about it, but when you really break it down into that context, that a player just got suspended for 2 games for doing what we see in the NBA on a nightly basis, something's not right there. When you're trying to, if the MLB truly is trying to appeal to the younger generation, to make their game more exciting, to have reasons to be on social media and showing highlights and stuff like that, this is the stuff you need to let happen and let grow. There was no animosity there. There was no anger. There was no nothing. It was excitement in the moment of scoring a tightly contested run with a pitcher sliding on your back and beating the tag out. Like, that's a heart pumping moment. Even just as a fan of baseball, watching that play develop and watching Castellanos, watching him come down on a wild pitch. I'm sorry, a passed ball. It was ruled a wild pitch. It was a passed ball. Yachty should have caught it anyway. That's probably why he was pissed.
It's Yachty.
But to have it go, to have a wild pitch happen, go to the backstop to get the play at the plate, and you have the play at the plate, and boom, your runner's safe with the pitcher sliding on his back and pushing him down on the back anyway. Yeah, you know what? I want my batter to get up and get in his face and say, "That's right, I just scored on." Like, hell yeah, like, let's go. But you know what? Okay, that's my rant on that one.
I got something to say on that rant too.
I love the excitement in the game, and I need more of it. I want more of it. I'm always advocating for it, player wise. Like, it makes this game so much more exciting. And I'm tired of the traditional unwritten rules and the suit and tie of it all that's wrapped around America's pastime. Screw that. Break the mold. Let's have some fun with this game. This game is so much fun if you let it be fun. And the MLB says they want that, and then every action that they do is the opposite of that, and it drives me crazy. But you know what? Looking at some other headlines around the MLB, let's talk about some other things. You know what? As a Cubs fan, you know what? We did finally see Jock Peterson hit his first home run as a Cub. And he got you all right, Michael?
No, I'm just picturing his face holding what you're about to say. And it's just the most like, it's like he pulled a Nintendo 60, like opened up the Nintendo 64 on Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, oh my, it's pure gold.
Yep. So he was given the waffle maker. So the best part is he got the waffle maker because he hit the home run. He's the first one to hit the home run when they brought the waffle maker into the dugout. The best part is if you just realize the context around it, because this is obviously Jock Peterson's first year with the Cubs. So he has no idea that this is not a new thing for the Cubs. They did this last year. And in fact, I believe it started in 2019. And I'm so sorry, but there it is. There it is. So Joe Musgroves, I'm so sorry, but just now breaking, Joe Musgroves throws the first no-hitter of the 2021 season, season, and the first in team history for the Padres. Congrats to Joe Musgroves and the Padres. They get a 3-0 win over the Texas Rangers, but more importantly, as we mentioned, Joe Musgrove tosses that first no-hitter in franchise history for the Padres and first of the young 2021 season. So there you go. Yet another highlight in this opening week.
Crap.
So yet another highlight in this opening week. So congrats once again to them. So that's awesome. Always an exciting moment. I don't care how many times it happens or has happened. No hitters are very, 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 very special. So very, very cool. But yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Oh, so especially for a guy like Musgrove, who has not had the best career. I remember him in Pittsburgh, and he would get lit up on a regular basis. Now, part of that is it's Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Just what they do. But it's happy, it's just pure happiness seeing him be able to come back, get on it's a dominant baseball team, but he only had 3 runs. He won that game.
Yeah.
He got the no-hitter. Like, he won that game, and that has to feel just so amazing to come from being one of the worst pitchers in pro baseball to having one of the premier moments for your entire team, and a moment it will go down in that team's history as the first ever. That jersey is going in their Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know that's going to be really awesome.
There's a Padres fan by Chris right now. He's just excited.
Oh, Mojo is going nuts
Mojo's
for his
losing
Padres,
his mind, man. He's just like, Joe Musgroves, oh my God. Yeah, I hear you, buddy. I know, it's pretty crazy. Oh, yeah? You got your mouse? What's up, buddy? Yeah, you excited? I know.
Can't believe. See, this is what the fans' baseball needs, everybody. They need to get animals involved. Bring back animal days to the parks.
Didn't they have there a cat that broke onto the field a couple weeks ago or last week?
Yeah, last week. Yeah. Mojo, Joe Musgroves did it. No hitter. Yay! He did it. I know, you're so excited. You don't even know. You look broken. You look so broken.
We love cats.
We're just milking it in. Cats.
We don't eat cats.
Let's talk about.
All right. So I want to say this. So I will say this. What's funny about Joe Musgroves, of all pitchers, to get that no hitter for the Padres? When you look at that rotation, you have Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Danielson Lamet, and of course, because baseball is baseball, Joe Musgroves is the guy to get the no-hitter. So congrats to him. Congrats to the franchise. That's super awesome. We'll probably talk about it again later if we want next week. Couple other things I just want to highlight in this opening week of baseball real quick. Baltimore doing a great job right now. They are leading. They're tied at 4-3 with the Red Sox for the lead in the AL East. So the 2 bottom feeders last year off to decent starts, after that infamous 0% chance to make the postseason by Fangraphs. So they're taking that personally. They're having a lot of fun. And when we talk about it later, Baltimore, I will give you this hint. They have my favorite moment so far in this first week of our opening season. So we'll get into that. But Shohei Ohtani, I want to talk about him. He has another home run tonight. He is just absolutely right now in this first week, at least, doing what he personally, I hope, has expected of himself to do, and what we've been hoping for as baseball fans for him coming over, getting a chance to play 2 ways, pitching and batting. And hell, when he started last week, he set a new record, whatever you want to call it, was the first player ever to throw a pitch over 101 miles an hour and then hit a home run 450 feet in the same inning. Like, it was just insane. He batted second that night. He's the first pitcher to bat second in like 100 some year, like some 130 year. I don't know, some crazy number. Basically, it's never happened or hasn't happened in any of our lifetimes. So Ohtani's been off to a hot start. Jose Abreu already has 2 grand slams on the year. Yerman Mercedes for those White Sox as well started the year 8 for 8. Started his career 8 for 8. Super impressive. That broke the MLB record, I believe, actually, for the start of a career, going 8 for 8, and he's currently leading baseball in hits. Michael, I'll give you this last one. We'll just talk about the Pirates and what they did to anger the baseball gods. So give us that one real quick.
I was going to talk about Ohtani a little bit more, but yeah, we'll talk about this.
Go for it.
This is fun. So the Pirates, after winning their first game on April Fool's, said, "We may never lose a game again." Put that on Twitter. They only won by what? 1? Like, they didn't win by much, but they won. Hey, you're great. You're feeling good. You're starting off perfect. Ever since then, they proceeded to get blown out by almost every single team they faced. Their least what was it? Their least scoring deficit has been 2 runs. They have been blown out by they had 2 games in a row. This is the run where the Reds scored 25 runs in 24 hours.
Yep.
They won 25-2 in the total of 2 games.
Yeah.
And just absolutely got wrecked to the point where they had to actually come back out on Twitter and go, look, baseball gods, this was a joke. This was a joke. Please make it stop.
Yeah.
But really quick, just to talk about Ohtani, because he's been great, and I am so happy.
Voice. It hasn't stopped. They're still on a 6-game losing streak. Continue.
It may never stop. But Ohtani in that game where he's pitching, I mean, he was phenomenal up until that final inning. And then you could tell it was his final inning, right? He was going to pitch. He had walked 2 batters in a row, but he had managed to come back. There was only 1 out left, and he managed to strike the guy out. However, it was a wild pitch. It went way too far inside, and Ohtani having to cover home. Well, no, the catcher missed the throw, and then the ball got thrown back. Ohtani went up for the catch, only to have who was it?
Jose Abreu.
It was Jose Abreu. Just crash right into
big
him
man.
Come down. And from the looks of it, I was watching the game live, and I was talking to you guys about it. Like, oh my goodness! Like Abreu immediately spun around. And he's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Because that injury did not look way more severe than it ended up being, especially for a guy like Ohtani, who has had injury issues. And Joe Madden had said the bubble wrap was off. And I wonder if in the back of his head, he's like, can we put the bubble wrap back on? Like, can we wrap this dude back up, please?
Can we do that again?
Like, my goodness, this dude got hit by a train. Now, I know he's been hitting very well, so obviously it hasn't affected him too much. They kept him out for basically a game and a half, using him in a pitch hitting situation the game after next. And he's on pace not to start this Sunday because he has a bruise, but to start his next scheduled appearance. And I'm happy for it, but that was a terrifying moment, I think, for every single baseball fan who was even remotely paying attention to that game. It was terrifying to see one of the best two-way players in a long time go down like that.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, absolutely. It's what nobody wanted. I mean, we've got a White Sox fan in Matt Michael who was like, I didn't even care about scoring the run at that moment. Like, I didn't want Ohtani hurt at all. Like, so even a fan of the opposing team in that moment was like, oh no, please don't let him actually be hurt. Because he's that important, obviously, to the Angels, but he's important to the game of baseball. And if he, you really hope that he can continue to be this two-way player and hopefully set that trend for younger guys coming up. I mean, Michael, one of your guys, Hunter Green, coming up, you hope he can be a two-way star. I mean, like I as a baseball fan, I want new things to break into the game, like a two-way star. And now, you know what, when we were talking about Ohtani and I was looking at this outline earlier and I was thinking about it, I wanted to ask you guys a question and I purposely didn't put in the outline because I wanted your thoughts off the top of your head.
Okay.
So for my I'm really curious actually, Tade, for you, because I think you're going to fit this mold anyway. So for my non-baseball fans, like I'm trying to sit here and think, what's a good comparison for a guy like Ohtani who is pitching at this level and batting at this level? What in another sport, what would be the equivalent of this? Like, what would be the equivalent of, I mean, obviously we have seen guys play 2 different sports, but I'm trying to think of, in the context of the same sport, what would be, a guy like, because I'm like, Taysom Hill for the Saints, does a lot of things, but he is not this level of quarterback and this level of of this, and he doesn't play offense and defense.
JJ Watt.
Like, I mean,
JJ Watt did when a couple years ago when he played offense and defense the same year, scored a couple touchdowns.
I mean, he definitely had those couple of touchdowns. He was in that specific package, but you have to take that. I'm not going to argue. You have to take that almost to another degree because you got to think just how rare it is that Ohtani is pitching multiple innings and then coming out and batting for an entire game and having 4 or 5 plate appearances. It's not like he's pitching
like somebody like
but I'm not even asking for
Robbie
a specific
Rogers. He's
Here,
a name
I'm
you guys might not recognize, but I'd say Roger
okay.
Rogers, probably because he was
I'm
really
trying.
good on the attack and he was defense. He was a LA Galaxy player. Played on
Okay.
Team USA once, I think. Yes,
Okay.
first openly gay pro sports player in America, too.
Oh, okay.
That guy,
Okay.
not the
I
NBA
think
player that
so.
everyone said, but he was in soccer. He's
Right,
like,
but
I've been
no,
gay for
yeah.
5 years, so
Um,
nobody remembers
but
me.
I wasn't even asking for like a specific player. I'm just trying to think of what position, like what that would qualify as in a different sport. Like what position would you would how to compare it to another sport? Would it be like somebody who can play quarterback and then play safety? Like it would be something wild like that. Like that's how I'm just trying to emphasize
Maybe
how
some like
rare seeing.
like in soccer, like a midfielder plays both attacking and defense. Like is the middleman.
But see, but that's one position kind of doing two things.
Yeah.
I'm talking about one guy playing elite two completely different positions because that's what Ohtani is doing right now, and I'm just emphasizing how rare it is to see.
That'd be like going back to like high school and like one player does both offense and defense. Like you have to go like to there.
Right.
Troy Brown. Y'all remember Troy Brown?
No.
Troy Brown
Can't say that I do.
Was the Patriots wide receiver and defensive back at the same time. Back in like 2004 and like to tell you 2010 or something ridiculous like that.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. I was way off. 93 to 07. Jeez, I was off.
Yikes.
No, that's a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But I just remember
missed it by a decade.
I remember being a kid because I didn't really follow too much football when I was like little. But during the AFC title game, I'm like, wait, why is their receiver out covering Marvin Harrison?
Okay.
What? Yeah. Like, what is happening here? But yeah, you were right. It is I can't think of anything else for the player playing the same sport other than like Dion playing football for the Falcons and then going and playing a playoff game for the Braves, like something like that. But I can't think of anything else.
It's so it's and that's my point, that it's that rare and it's that unseen and unheard of before. So it's just important to take note while we're seeing it, because hopefully he's here for a while and can do both things at this level for a while. Yeah. But you just don't know. All right, so I want to real quick. I feel like our baseball segment's going long, so let's rehash our favorite moments real quick of the first week. And I want to give the floor to Tade because we have obviously overrun this with our MLB segment. So Tade, did you actually have a favorite moment of the first baseball week of the season?
Favorite moment of the baseball week. I knew baseball was starting up because you guys, I seen it happen on betting, so I would bet on games. Favorite moment would have to be losing all of my bets for first innings so that you can bet on if a team is going to score that inning. And everybody on Reddit was saying, oh, this is money for runs. You guys should put it on there. They're not going to score in the first inning. They're warming up. It's not the best hitters. The best pitchers are out there. We got this good. Yeah, no. It's a 50-50 shot of hitting it. And I missed it 9 out of 10 times. Because I don't know baseball. You don't bet on sports you don't know. That's the rule.
Should have asked us. I would have told you to bet on the Reds.
No, I should have. You guys told me beginning this podcast, bet on the Reds to score in the end. They didn't.
That was robbery.
Oh, right. Tade, don't.
It should have been a home run.
Damn it. Tade, don't get him started.
It doesn't matter because it would have been a lost bet. They're not going to refund you that. It's not football. They only refund
the
football
gauntlet
bets.
Has been thrown.
They would refund football bets all the time during the college.
Really?
It's really weird. They refunded Indiana versus Penn State, which was not really a contested game. I know. What? It was weird. But they refunded that game to everybody if they were close and did the spread.
That's weird. Tade, I'll tell you this and all our lovely viewers out there. I love my Cubs, but bet on them to not score in the first inning for the foreseeable future. And you will win that bet. You will win. Yeah, you will win that bet 9 out of 10 times. I can pretty confidently tell you that much.
I lose
Michael,
money, you're paying me back, right?
No.
It's only me pennies. It's all good.
Fine. Asterisk. Results may vary. There you go. Now I'm clean and free. Michael, what was your favorite moment of our opening week? I'm sure you had a lot of Reds moments. So,
well, just because this one was just hilarious. it was a Reds Pirates game. Go figure. The baseball gods were angry, and Tyler Naquin, y'all know that guy, that totally notable Reds hitter. He played in Cleveland for a while. Like, I knew him too, but he took one of the, I think it was like a second pitch yard. And I just remember going like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is another leadoff home run for the Reds. It was like their back-to-back leadoff home runs. And then all I hear over the broadcast is, well, there goes his no-hitter. It's just, I loved it.
That's amazing, because that's what my dad and I always say whenever we watch any game together. If we watch, so like top of the first, there'll be like a leadoff single, and we're like, well, there goes a no-hitter. Like, that's our little thing. So shout out, Dad. That's awesome. That's hilarious that a broadcast actually did that. That's amazing. I love it. So my favorite moment, I actually have two. My first one, in all seriousness, is actually not a baseball particular moment. So Trey Mancini comes back this year, missed all of last year because he was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer out of nowhere. Just got diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer, had to have surgery, obviously. Went through chemo, went through everything in a COVID pandemic year last year, had to do that all. I can't even imagine how scared he was basically all year last year, and away from his team, couldn't be on the field. And then to be able to get himself not only healthy, but then game healthy, get himself back to the field in time for opening day this year. It broke me emotionally. And then to even go on top of that one, to realize that Baltimore's first series wasn't at home. So his opening day, like, he had his moment, but he was, they were on the road. Mm-hmm. So then all of a sudden the other day they come home and he goes to Camden Yards and gets announced there. And the announcer, even just says, welcome home, Trey Mancini. And the limited crowd there just rocked the effing building. Oh. And he comes out and you could see it on his face. You could hear it in the crowd. And it was just one of those moments that, again, just absolutely shattered me. And it was just like, man, this right here, this little nugget, this is what sports is about. This is why I love sports. It's not the wins and losses. It's not even the championships or the moments or the plays. It's the people, and it's the emotion, and it's the just rawness of it. And just the fact that you can have a story like this where a guy gets stage freaking 3 colon cancer out of the blue, gets healthy in less than a year during a pandemic, gets back to his team, and then has that moment and goes on to get a hit in his first at bat. Shout out Boston, the opposing team that game in Baltimore, who, I cheer for him too, crowded him, gave him his moment. The Boston pitcher, when he stepped into the plate, stepped off the mound to give him an extended time to get, to have that moment again. It just, the whole idea and the whole moment, again, just shattered me as a person, as a human. It just absolutely shattered me. And then on the light side and the more fun side, my favorite moment from this first week actually just happened yesterday. My boy Javi Baez hit a 2-run home run, which doesn't sound that all surprising or fun, but my man hit it. It was they measured it. It was 0.86 feet off the ground. It was less than a foot off the ground. And he golfed that sucker on day 1 of the Masters, said, I can golf too, because I'm El Mago and I can do it all. Golfed that sucker into the bleachers. It was tied for the 6th lowest, distance to the ground, hit by for a homer hit ever. So just hilarious. Just exactly what you expect from a guy like Javi Baez. So yeah, that was my favorite moment. The Trey Mancini coming back, and then Javi Baez golfing out a home run yesterday against the Pirates. Just shows again the spectrums of baseball and how wacky the sport is and why I love it. But we're gonna talk about a different sport. We're gonna update us on the NBA, because I want to get Tade back into the groove here. I want Tade, you awake?
Yes.
Good. Yes.
Let's go. So, all right. So the NBA, we've got a handful of headlines. And here's how we're gonna do this. I'm just gonna go through the headlines, and then one of y'all pick a point and go with it. So, First headline we got: KD is back. Missed 23 games. So what now with him coming back to those Brooklyn Nets? What do we think their ceiling is? The Denver Nuggets, at the time of this writing, have not lost a game since they made that trade deadline acquisition of Aaron Gordon. They're 7-0, I believe, at the number with him now. Are they finals contenders out of the West? The Pacers, they've continued to consistently be inconsistent. Do we look at them as a threat in the playoffs at all? And the Chicago Bulls have been rolling since their big trade on the trade deadline and acquiring Nikolai Vucevic, the all-star formerly from Orlando. Do we think they're going to be dangerous if they can get into the playoffs? And the 76ers don't look very good. They look pretty dead right now. They're in a rough stretch. Do we think they can pull it together at all? So Tade, take one of those and run with it. What are you thinking?
Let's go with the Bulls.
Okay.
I've bet on them a lot, so I've seen them play a little bit.
So you're an expert.
Obviously, 100%.
Yeah.
Call me a Bulls beat writer over here.
I see.
I think Bulls are a second round team. They're what the Pacers would be on a good year. They have a good starting five. The bench, it's average. It has some noticeable players. You'll know their names, but it's not going to get you anywhere as an NBA bench. But the starting five, it's a second round team. They would be a first round team, first round exit, that's regular Bulls.
Sure.
Without Vucevic. Now with him, they've been playing well. They have a good center that can at least pair up with, MVP caliber centers in the East. Miles Turner, he can beat him up. Embiid, he can fight him. So, the Bulls obviously after the All-Star break and after the trade deadline have improved. Zach LaVine just goes off, silly of Minnesota to trade him away. Now,
in hindsight, that actually.
Yeah.
I think he has. I think I said he's got 39 tonight. He had 39, I think, in the first half tonight.
Yeah,
crazy.
They're going on a run. They're getting hot after the All-Star break. That's when you want to get hot. You carry that into the playoffs. You go to the finals. You're the Miami Heat of last year. Congrats.
Oh wow! Now we're all of a sudden jumping to that. I like it.
Jimmy Butler left the wrong team again.
Michael, what one of those 5 headlines do you want to talk about, bud?
Let's talk KD. Because, everyone, of course, looking at that goes, okay, Kevin Durant's back. This is huge. He played all right in that game, but that's still huge for the team. The big thing is, when it comes to the Nets' ceiling, realistically, they're finals contenders. Easily.
Okay. Yeah.
What I'm worried about is the clashes of personalities they have on that team. They have a lot of, especially, I don't want to say ego guys, but all these guys at some point in their careers were the guy. They were the guy. And now they're all playing on the same team. Guys like Griffin and Aldridge are taking bench roles. And you're just wondering, is this going to mesh and stay cohesive throughout the course of the rest of the season and into the postseason, especially if things start getting rough? Yeah. Can you rely on a guy like Kyrie? He's had a lot of off the court issues and he's had to step away a few times out of the year. Is he going to, obviously I don't want to say keep doing what you're doing. You're doing things for a good cause. You go do Kyrie. The game is obviously much not as important, but you need to have guys you can rely on. And obviously I think they have enough guys that could step up, but
yeah,
it's just about Harden hasn't been consistent in the postseason. Kyrie, of course, has that clutch gene, but he hasn't been on the team a whole lot. And then Blake all of a sudden remembered how to dunk, but what are we going to do if he gets amnesia and he forgets how to play again?
Funny. Right.
I still love that. That's my favorite thing about this whole thing is Blake Griffin dunking all over the place all over again.
Yeah.
The man knew what he was worth in Detroit. His contract, that's it. He knew he wasn't going anywhere.
So when I think of the Nets, the big question to me that pops up with and you hit the nail on the head with all those personalities and all those guys that are there, all those alphas that are used to being the guy that all come together on one team. my question becomes, okay, so, and you guys go ahead and answer this if you have one. In the playoffs, in a close game, you need a bucket. You need a clutch bucket. You need a buzzer beater. Who do you draw the play up to take the last shot?
Kyrie.
When you have all those guys, who takes that last shot?
James Harden.
Kyrie.
See, and I would say Kevin Durant. I would say Kevin Durant.
See,
like,
I'd say Kevin Durant. However, Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni are on that coaching staff.
Right.
Who is their favorite player on that team? It's going to be James Harden because Mike D'Antoni loves James Harden. He probably told Steve Nash, he's a better you. We give him the ball. That's why he's been going off recently.
Whoa. It's two completely different players.
Watch yourself there. It's a different
style. Putting James Harden at point guard was the smartest thing they did for the Houston offense before Chris Paul got there. That's why he was MVP caliber player.
Yeah.
For multiple years. And still is.
But guys, I want to talk about a team out west. I want to talk about those Nuggets, man. I want to talk about those Denver Nuggets.
They're finding gold.
They are mining gold right now. They're riding the wave. Absolutely. That Aaron Gordon move was huge. I don't think there's a better front court in basketball with Jokic and Aaron Gordon now. I'm gonna say it. I really don't. Yeah. I can't think of a better 1-2 punch in the front court than those two guys. And yeah, I mean the East. So NBA is shaping out to be really fun for me this year, to be honest with you. The East is going to be so interesting to watch in the playoffs because they're all trash. Somebody has to come out of it, but they're all essentially trash.
Oh,
like they're all bad or not good. And then the West, you have like 8 really good teams. And like, I can make an argument to go to the finals for like 4 or 5 of them.
Wait, isn't this how it is every year?
I mean, yes and no. But like, I don't know. I feel like this year more than ever. Well, because you got to remember, at least in the East, there used to be like LeBron or that one powerhouse team that like was far and away the cream of the crop in the East. I don't think there is a cream of the crop in the East this year. And they're all not good.
The Bucks like that. Wow.
And the Nets.
Get past the second round, and I'll believe in them. Dude, I love Giannis. I want to believe in Milwaukee so much.
At your door right now. Drew Holiday's out there right now. Lauren Holiday came back home to Indiana, and she has a bat in her hand, and she's ready to beat you up.
Dude, half of my family is out in Wisconsin, and they're probably gonna hate me for it. But like, legitimately get past the second round, and I'll believe in you. I'm sorry, like I want to, but I just can't do it. But and then like I said in the West, I can make legitimate title claims for like 4 teams out of the West. So it's gonna be hilarious, and it's gonna be so much fun to watch. For
5 legitimate, 5, Chris. Jazz.
So hold on, I got you. So I got you. So Utah, Denver, Phoenix, I guess LA and LA. Fine.
Yeah,
I'll give you 5.
5. Yeah.
Okay. But let's be honest. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't expect the Clippers to make it out of the West. And at this point, I don't expect the Lakers to make it out of the West.
You shut your mouth. Don't even say that.
Sorry.
They're resting everybody. LeBron goes to the finals, young man. You forget your place.
So you know what? I mentioned those Phoenix Suns, right? And their big acquisition this year did not happen at the trade deadline. It actually happened in the offseason before the season began, in acquiring Chris Paul. That has been just a absolute, as Tade would say, that's a money move right there. That was, I mean, the ability to go out and get a guy like that to pair him with a budding scoring superstar sharpshooter in Devin Booker and able to slide him to his natural position at the 2 and just let him score and let Chris Paul run the offense to finally give Devin Booker a legitimate point guard to run that offense has done wonders for him and that team in Phoenix. So when we talk Chris Paul, though, when he inevitably gets inducted into the Hall of Fame at the end of his career, what team do we think he's going to be most associated with? Because there are a couple of different teams. I mean, he's been on more teams than you would imagine a Hall of Fame level guy has bounced around on. I'll start it off. I'll tell you right now, here's the deal. When he wins the chip with Phoenix, He's going in a Suns jersey, baby. I'm telling you.
What?
When he wins the chip with Phoenix, he'll be in a Suns jersey.
No.
All right? Yeah.
No.
Oh no, you will die.
Yeah,
Or fine. He'll be associated with the not the Clippers. What team was he on OKC when he led the guys into the Clippers locker room?
No, he was on Houston.
So, was it Houston? Okay. So he'll be remembered for Houston for leading them.
Yeah.
See, I don't remember.
I thought it was OKC. Yeah, because it was Houston. He was on first. Then he went to OKC.
Okay. Either way, whatever team he was on when he did that, that'll be his most memorable moment.
I'm still gonna go. You gotta go Lob City. Like outside of State Farm commercials, like that really put CP3 on the map for a lot of people because he was on ESPN top 10 almost nightly for the stuff that him and Blake Griffin used to get up to down in LA. Like those were some really fun moments as a basketball fan, and especially as a guy who, I played point guard when I played basketball. I was all about assists, and that was awesome. It's just something you love to see outside of like a guy like Steve Nash. You don't really see a lot of ball handling and dishing it like that. Also, a top memorable moment though, when CP3 got thrown that lob in the All-Star game and he had no idea what to do with it at all. Like that was just great to see him go up and you see the ball go up and he goes, he has to like for it anyway.
What do I do with this? What do I do with this? I'm not supposed to be on this end of it.
I'm not supposed to be up here.
Yeah. I can't fly. What's happening? That's too funny.
A better moment.
At that moment.
Tade, what team are you going to associate Chris Paul with?
How dare you guys not give him the credit he deserves for being a legend with the Oklahoma City Thunder, taking that trash team. Nobody even would want any of those players last year, taking them and give them a good, rough playoffs. Leading them. No one thought they would be good. No one thought they would make it to the playoffs, and he did it right. No, I'm just kidding. No, that'd be really funny. But
that would be hilarious.
I mean, barring if he wins a championship in Phoenix, it's gonna be Phoenix. Otherwise, it's the Clippers. Yeah. But
I can see that.
Best moment for
the funny thing is at this point, the funny thing is at this point, people just seem to forget his start in New Orleans.
Yeah,
like
it's New Orleans
with do y'all realize, do you remember like when he was in New Orleans, who played with him was David West? Like that's how long he's been in the league.
Yeah.
Like when he broke into the league with New Orleans, he had David West with him. Like how cool is that's just random as hell.
It's just like, hey, you know what? He left though. He left, and then they got AD. Chris Paul leaves, they get AD.
Yeah.
AD leaves, they get Zion. So no one's gonna remember AD was on the Pelicans. Who cares? He's on the Lakers now.
The bro.
Championship.
Right.
Who cares? Man, Zion's gonna leave. Gonna take the Celtics to a championship.
Fun fact: I wish that Pelicans team with Boogie and Anthony Davis had a longer run.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god!
Towers. That was a beautiful team. Beautiful.
You want to talk about a nasty front court? That's a front court that'll make you poop your pants. Like that's just.
Yeah. But AD can't lead a team by himself, so that's why they never did anything with those teams. So it's whatever. Just saying.
All right. Well, guys, it's my favorite time of the week.
Is it?
He's opening his Pokemon cards back.
It's time for Chris's Pokemon Corner. And guys, I'm gonna leave it up to you. We have choices today for Chris's Pokemon Corner. We have choices.
All right, crowd, pick which one.
So we can go with. There you go. So we can go with the base Sword and Shield pack that I was originally going to do, the third pack from my tin, or and behind door number 2, we have
a Team Rocket pack,
a Battle Styles pack. I wish. We have a single new from the new series Battle Styles pack with a wonderful Charmander promo in there. Ooh.
Door number 3.
No. Door 1 or door 2? I'll leave it up to you guys. Make your decision.
Door number 3. Do I get a zonk? Do we get a zoink? Zonk? What is it called? Zonk? When it's behind the door and it's the mousetrap thing? You guys know what I'm talking about?
I sort of, but I don't remember the sound.
Wayne Brady does the show in the mornings.
I'm just thinking more. I know what show you're talking about. Let's Make a Deal, but I'm thinking more. But I'm thinking more like Price is Right and just I don't know. Or Jeopardy music's in my head.
Number 2.
Speaking of Jeopardy, shout out my boy Aaron Rodgers doing a hell of a job guest hosting Jeopardy.
Doing really
Let's go.
well.
Feels bad for that final Jeopardy question though.
That was hilarious on that first night.
Yeah, it was so good. It was too
they
good.
ask him, why didn't they go for it, not kick a field goal? Who made that decision?
They asked him like whose decision was it to kick the field goal?
He's like,
it's so
it's
good.
not mine.
That's what he said. Yeah, like wasn't mine. Oh my god, so
he's
good.
a really big Jeopardy fan, so it's really nice for him to see that.
Yeah,
like he's
talking about doing it full time.
Yeah,
he wants to do it full time and play pro football at the same time. Like he is.
I don't know
serious.
if we can do both, but yeah,
they should be. I
don't know.
Just open the sun and moon.
Sword and shield.
I don't have a sun and moon.
Sword and shield.
I don't have a sun and moon. Sword and shield. Sword and shield.
Yes.
Sword and shield, good sir.
Today, go over your bets.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, while Chris goes over that, I'll go over my bets of the week while we end over this podcast here. Last week, my goodness, we had a doozy. Corner. While Chris opens his packs up, last week, mash picks, they hit. New York won over Detroit, Miami won over Cleveland, and the Clippers won over the Lakers. Second time my mash has hit. Let's go. My trash game I picked, I said Indiana versus Spurs. I said it was a trap game for Indiana. Spurs lost that. Indiana won while they're struggling. That's why I said it was a trash pick. And my cash, Denver over Orlando. Money. Denver beat Orlando by 10. Orlando's on a downslide. And Chris is here with his cards. Let's take it over to Chris.
We've got 10 cards to go through. So we got our energy card. Dope Hitmonlee doing some training. A rare candy.
Oh,
we're gonna level up with a lucky egg.
Oh, these are Pokemon Go cards.
That's what I was thinking. Roselia, a Choodle.
Oh,
Blitbug.
Oh,
Rhyhorn.
Crash.
I can't think of his name.
Clobopus.
Clobopus.
Who makes these names?
Yeah. Not me. Is that my reverse hollow? That is my reverse hollow. What the heck? It's a Heatmore. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. I like that. And then we got a Sandacobra hollow. It is a hollow though, so I will take it.
I haven't heard of these Pokemon. Is that a bad thing?
What?
I haven't heard of these Pokemon, guys.
It's okay.
I watch the
freaking game.
I don't want to play the game.
Why?
I'm just gonna leave this here though while we finish our podcast.
Yeah, Chris is a rich man now. Everybody, congrats to him.
Yeah. So I pulled this yesterday out of Shining Fates that I got to open, and yeah, I lost it. The sexiest card I've pulled. Not my favorite, not the best, but definitely the sexiest card I have pulled. So, Tade, congrats on your mash, cash, and trash picks. Do you have new ones this week? I didn't hear if you went over them this week.
I have not gone over the new ones. I'll let you open your packs and show off your rich cards over here. You get a lot of good Pokemon cards.
I get a lot of duds, too. Don't worry.
New picks.
Do not worry.
Utah over Sacramento this week. In the Chicago versus Minnesota game, take the Minnesota spread. They've been doing really well against teams right now while they're the underdogs. So, taking the spread's going to be a good bet. Trash. First inning MLB bets. There are going to be no runs.
Salty about it. I love it.
People say it's a 50-50. I'm not out of 10. It's a weird bet to make, but everyone, our sports book and our sports betting are like, oh, this is a great bet, everybody. No, it's not. Don't listen to them. Do it if you want to, if you think you're good at it. My cash pick, Phoenix over Houston. Houston gave the Clippers trouble in the first quarter, but once their bench goes in, game's over. So Phoenix over Houston. Easy money.
Okay.
And those are my picks of the week, everybody.
Woohoo! And we have our
Money.
new what?
Money.
Money.
Like money.
We got our new picks of the week this week. Those games that we are excited to take a look at and keep our eye on in the next week. Mine, I'm going to roll with my Cubs. Actually, it's going to be next Friday, so it'll be an afternoon game, so right before we film. So as long as it doesn't go super duper extra innings, I'll be able to know the result before we film. So that's great. But my Cubs get started with a home series against the Atlanta Braves. So a very exciting game, an important series, I think, to kind of see where the Cubs are going to line up with against one of the best teams, if not the best team in the National League. The Braves have been on a slow start, but they're still one of the best teams, like I said, in the NL. So curious to see how they're going to look in that one. I'm going to go with my homer pick, and I'm going to take those Cubs to eke out a win in a low scoring game and a 4-2 win. I pick a low scoring one for a couple of reasons. One, the Cubs offense has not been able to have a high scoring output like Michael's Reds. They have been very, very piss poor and inconsistent on the offensive end. So it's been a struggle to watch them offensively, but the pitching has been better than I anticipated, at least early on. Jake Arrieta's he's 2-0 on the year already, so heck yeah. Kyle Hendricks bounced back after his opening day loss. He looked good in his second start. Zach Davies looked good, and the bullpen has been great. Craig Kimbrell looks like prime Craig Kimbrell right now. He has faced 14 batters and he's got 14 outs. And I believe he struck out 9 of those 14 that he's faced. So, I mean, he is at that. He's feeling it right now. He's at that elite level. He's got his stuff working, and he looks like he's having a good time. Andrew Chafin is just a vibe, by the way. Just an FYI, if you just go on the Googles, go on the social medias, type in Andrew Chafin, Chafin, and you'll see what I'm talking about. He is just an absolute vibe. Got the big handlebar mustache down to the chin, and
looks like Jack Black at a Nacho Libre.
Yep. Oh, he's striking out batters, having fun doing it. So I think the pitching will lead the way in this one. Because I don't believe in the offense right now to win in a slugfest. So I'm hoping for just a good pitching performance and get a 4-2 win. That's my pick of the week. It'll be, like I said, next Friday, Cubs over the Braves in a day game at Wrigley.
So for me, I wanted to just watch every single Reds game this week. I was told by my producers that's just not going to happen. You got to pick one.
They're going to lose all of them, so it doesn't matter then.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And your record would just tank.
His record already is tanked. Michael, if you lose, why would you do this to the Reds?
This is what I need to get back to 500. All right? This is what I need. But obviously,
I hope they lose.
The best part about having a team that just goes off is you're always looking forward to the next game to watch them again and again and again. So they're on right now. They're up 4-0 over the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Jinxed them.
So I'm going to say, hey, it would also be fun watching the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Reds again tomorrow night. So just tune in tomorrow. I'm going to have the Reds winning 7-2 because that's the kind of scoring output there's been this so far this year.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting a strong pitching performance, especially if Sonny Gray can keep this positive trend going on his rehab. Nice. He'll be back here soon too.
Tade, what do you have?
I'm going to go with a more competitive pick, not two teams that are garbage and you know who's going to win according to Michael, which that's not going to happen. Now he just lost
it's
already.
Just
so smart. Mark you down for a loss. Sorry, buddy.
I'm gonna laugh, especially if that turns out to be like the only game they lose this week is the one he picked. Like that'd be the best.
Man.
That's my best case scenario.
Hey, remember when Michael said Oral Roberts wouldn't beat Ohio State?
Oral Roberts.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, Michael. See, you made Ohio State lose. Don't forget that. That's okay, man. You cursed it. He's the Padres. Or
yeah.
Yeah.
Tade, what's your competitive pick this week, bud? What
my
are you
competitive
looking at?
pick: San Antonio versus Orlando later this week. I'm gonna go with San Antonio. San Antonio's on a downward spiral, but DeMar DeRozan's back, so he'll be able to win them some games. Hopefully, Orlando's in the tank.
Yeah,
but still San Antonio recently, so we'll see who wins that. Probably San Antonio.
Who I was like, you have to pick a team to win, Tade. That's how it works. You can't just be like this
game. COVID cancellation.
COVID cancellation.
If it happens,
my God.
I get a win, not a tie.
And if it doesn't happen, you get a loss. How's that?
Oh, no, I won't do that then.
Okay.
I guess not.
Okay.
We've had COVID cancellation for a while now for basketball.
You better knock on some wood right now.
Yeah. A lot of the players have already gotten vaccinated. Tristan Thompson's like, I had COVID. I hated it. Why would I want it again? Give me the vaccine. Smart man. Portland Trailblazers all got vaccinated. Minnesota Timberwolves all got 9 players got vaccinated so far.
Nice.
I think Malcolm Brogdon's probably get vaccinated. That he's been smart about it too.
Mm-hmm. So who are you taking?
I might get vaccinated. San Antonio.
San Antonio over Orlando.
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys, that's just about wrap it up. Just a recap. I took the Cubs on Friday over the Braves. Michael took his Reds tomorrow. That'd be Saturday. Over the Diamondbacks. And Tade went with San Antonio to beat Orlando this week. So we will keep an eye on those 3 games. We will see you guys next week, of course, with another edition of the MCT podcast. We're having so much fun doing this. And we're trying, we're trying new things. That's why we're doing the Pokemon pack and we're doing other things. I'll tell you right now, I think we're going to start branching out to not just sports, even related topics, games, movies, extra stuff. I mean, you two are 2 of my closest friends. I love talking with you guys just about anything. So we have great conversations about everything. So I would love to expand and open our minds to some other things. I think it would benefit us and the viewers and be
reviews. We're
not talking about TikTok. Okay, well, you know what? Cancel the whole thing then. Never mind.
Oh.
This is our formula. We're not changing it ever.
Oh.
MC podcast is canceled.
DraftKings is really good with their TikToks. And so is the Colts Blue is for some reason. The Colts TikToks are god awful. I hate them.
I thought that's what you said before.
They're extremely bad.
They're so annoying too. It's just stop doing this. Mess with the Lombardi trophy. I don't know why they use it all the time as a prop. Stop doing that.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. But hey, at least they're not throwing it off a boat. Tom Brady.
True. Idiot. The Colts guy made eggs on his. That's worse.
But he didn't throw it off a boat.
He made worse food.
Everybody, put in the comment section below. What's worse? Throwing the Lombardi trophy off a boat into the capable hands of a receiver, or making eggs on the Lombardi trophy outside.
Supplying your body with food and nutrition that it needs. Got it.
Tom Brady had a ton of, I wouldn't say nutrients during his boat ride, but he was filled with something.
He's filled with something, all right, even to this day. Well, that will just about do it for this edition of the MCT podcast. Thank you again for joining us. We will see you same time next week. And keep a lookout for the Crash Course podcast on Tuesdays as well. Monday live if you want to watch them on Twitch. So we will see you guys next week. Thanks again.
Bye.